let's do another Draw This in Your Style challenge. Let's get started. Hello guys, so in this week's video we are doing another Draw This in Your Style challenge. Just before I do other people's artwork in my style, I just want to say that I have a couple of pieces that you can do a Draw This in Your Style of. This is a completely optional thing, so if you don't want to do it, that's fine. Since I posted them quite a while ago, I will leave links down below in the description to these pieces. If you do my Draw This in Your Style piece, it will be featured in the next video. Please remember to put this hashtag in your social media post, whether it's on Twitter or Instagram. And if you don't have Twitter or Instagram, you can send it to the email address down below in the description. If you have any questions, please feel free to actually ask me down below in the comment section. But if you would also like to submit a piece for me to draw in a future video, please use the hashtag DrawThisZoe. I apologise for the really long intro, but with that being said, let's get on to the very first artwork. So the first person that I decided to do their Draw This in Your Style challenge for is Jenna Drawing. Now Jenna is a long time friend of the channel since about 2015, so when she posted a Draw This in Your Style, you better believe I was gonna do it. So her Draw This in Your Style challenge is of an elf taking a selfie, so as she liked to call it, an elfie. I thought that was really cute. She did it digitally, but of course with me I would do it traditionally because, you know, I love my watercolour. Even though I've been busy with my preparations for my first ever convention, I was dead set on doing this piece. Whether I was late to the party or not, I don't care, I was doing it. Her original Draw This in Your Style piece was actually to celebrate 25k followers on Instagram. I just want to say a congratulations for that, that's awesome. It sounds really weird to say, but I have this sisterly pride when it comes to Jenna. I'm so proud of her. And I don't think it's just because I have a little sister her age. I actually met her in real life in 2017. We went to London Comic Con together. We've done multiple collabs in the past. And when we live stream, we sometimes call each other in each other's live streams. She's very much like an internet sister to me, so of course I was doing her Draw This in Your Style challenge. Now with that all being said, I had trouble with this Draw This in Your Style challenge, particularly the sketch. Not so much the painting, but I'll get on to talking about that in a minute. I don't know what it was about the angle of this picture, but something about the angle I just could not get right. Just the angle in the original just looks so good, and then there's mine. I'm not entirely sure it was the correct angle to go with in the end, but it looks decent. It was passable at least with the sketch. It became better after all the colours were added, so at least it had that going for it. Speaking of colour, this is actually the first time I've used my Kurotake Gansai Tambi paints since 2017. And it's really weird to say that because I used to use them all the time. I think when I got my Schminke and my White Nights paint, particularly my White Nights paint, I just stopped using any other brands because the White Nights paint could actually deliver that impact and the colour that I wanted straight away without having to build it up too much. Whereas the Gansai Tambi paints, they definitely take a long time, and they also are the type of paints that you can build and build and build until your desired colour, whereas the White Nights I feel like are instant colour. I still like both of them. I prefer my White Nights obviously because I like that instant impact of colour and paintings don't take half as long. But I do look back at my old Gansai Tambi paintings and I really like the shading and the layers of depth that I built up, so I'm going to try and take some elements of that and try and replicate it in my White Nights style going forward. It's really interesting going back to old supplies that you used to use, and I would definitely recommend it for anybody who is like having art block. Just maybe go back to previous supplies that you've used and look back at old techniques that you used to do, especially if you think that they're better than what you're currently doing. Study your old work, because it's really interesting just to see what I left behind when I was on my journey towards the steps of improvement. I still see elements of my old work that I want to have in my work going forward, so it's actually really cool just to look back and take inspiration from your old work again. Also, looking back at your old work is a huge motivator because it basically tells you how much you improved over that time. So I explained the dynamic between me and Jenna, and I did this because this was definitely something that played into this whole image, because it's that kind of thing where you are doing a piece for family or friends that you know in real life, and it completely has a different feel to it than if you're doing, say, a commission for more of a stranger. There is this personal connection to it, and not that that's a bad thing, it just puts that extra pressure on there because you're like, I want to make them proud, I want to just make them feel good, if that makes sense. And that was a huge part of this piece. Part of me wishes I would have done this in White Nights, but at the same time I was actually really happy that I did it in my Gansai Tambi paints, just because it added some variety. I also decided on the softer line work approach, so it was kind of like my old style definitely creeping in back into my art style. More of a pencil, crayon and watercolour look, whereas my watercolour work nowadays, it's kind of like very thin black line work and watercolour with pencil crayon on top, so it's definitely a mix of everything now. If I could title this video anything else, it would probably be old style versus new style in terms of the colouring style. Don't get me wrong, I still do go towards my pencil crayons for line work from time to time, but nowadays I kind of default towards my fine liners. So as I said a little bit earlier, I am doing my very first convention in September, and I'm so excited for it. I'm going to be attending MCon Worcester here in the UK, and that might sound really familiar to some people because I went to the University of Worcester, so it's in my university town, and it's the first time I've actually returned to Worcester since I graduated last November, so it's really special to me. And I'm going to be selling quite a few different things. Since it's my first convention, I've tried to keep it smaller, and it's also a one-day convention, so I'm trying to contain my nervousness but also excitement. I have some table partners that are going to be Black Summer Colouring and Hetty's Arts. It's going to be on the 14th of September, so if you're in that area or already attending the convention, you may see me there. And if you are going, please be nice to me because it is my very first convention and I'm kind of scared, but also very excited, as I said before. What makes the prospect even more exciting is the fact that at the beginning of the year, it was one of my art goals to do my very first convention, and it's happening. I am that meme where it's like, oh my god, it's happening! And there's not only a convention on my mind at the moment, there's also videos that I am in the middle of doing or have yet to start. I know I have plans on doing quite a lot. I have a collab that's currently in the works. I've only started sketching for it this week and it's probably due to go up next week. I don't know. Just there's so much going on in my life right now. And literally all the watercolour painting currently is just keeping me sane. It's keeping my sanity at a sustainable level. At least I think so. So the second Draw This in Your Style piece is actually from my hashtag #DrawThisZoe, and it's from Undead Rose on Instagram. So one of the main reasons why I actually chose this piece is because from the first Draw This in Your Style in this video, so Jenna's, I wanted a completely different vibe. With Jenna's, it was all happy-go-lucky and it was an elf girl. So this time around, I kind of wanted something different, obviously. And this one really stood out in my hashtag. And I thought it'd be really, really fun and a little bit of a challenge to actually do it in my own style. Now, another reason why I chose it is because in the original, the style is very simplistic and it doesn't really have that much in the way of details. So that way I could add my own details, which I did of an abundance, because that's my personal style. But I gotta say, while I was sketching it, it felt like I was sketching one of my characters, specifically Skylar, because I've always done my character Skylar with that whole single wing kind of thing, with her looking over her back, just at her wings, just a really, really sad expression. So it did remind me of some of my old artworks with my character Skylar. And even when I was live streaming part of this illustration, people on the stream actually thought the exact same thing. So with this picture, I actually decided to use my White Nights paints. It's because I kind of wanted to compare how the two paints performed and why I made the decision to actually start using White Nights instead of Kuretake Gansai Tambi paints. And when I started using them again after using the Gansai Tambis, it was like a breath of fresh air. It was actually really nice to use the White Nights because it didn't take me as long to get the colour I wanted. But as I said before, I used to get really, really cool effects with the lighting with the Gansai Tambi paints because of all the layer and the build-up. So I kind of took this into account when actually doing this piece. I was like, okay, what colours can I use to get the same effects as my Gansai Tambi pieces, which I think going forward, it's really, really good. So even though I'm probably not going to be using my Gansai Tambi paints again, I really feel like it was a really good learning experience. For anyone wondering what brush I use mainly, it is the Raphael 3/0 Squirrel Hair Mop Brush, or at least I think that's what it's called. It's just a really good all-rounder. It can do smaller details if you're really, really careful, but it can also like fill quite big sections at the same time. Even though I paid about £10 for a singular brush, it's so worth it. It makes my process so much quicker and I enjoy painting with it. The other brushes that I use are Daler Rowney Graduate and also some Daler Rowney Aquafine brushes. The gold detailing is done with Finetech gold paints. I also did bring out my Kuretake Gansai Tambi pearl colours just for some of the swirls on Jenna's piece. And then the pencil crayons that I used on top and also for the line work of the previous piece were my Polychromos pencils. I love Polychromos pencils. I prefer them over Prismacolor because I'm really heavy-handed and I very easily break the Prismacolor lead. Even though it's great to blend with, it's not great for me being heavy-handed with them. So for those wondering, there is actually a difference that I personally put between my Drawing Your OC series and the Draw This in Your Style series. With the Drawing Your OC series, I'm looking into the character, their background. I want to know about the character. Whereas this series is more so about the artwork, the composition, the layout, the colours, just more so about the picture itself. And I'm not accusing anybody of anything here, but I have a funny feeling this has happened where people would submit to both the Draw This in Your Style hashtag of mine and the Draw My OC Zoe hashtag. If there is people that have done this, they're probably thinking, oh, well, she'll draw my character either way. But that isn't the case because, as I just explained, there are different reasons why I pick the Draw This in Your Style pieces to do for these videos and the Drawing Your OCs. Again, I'm not calling anybody out or trying to make anyone feel guilty if they've done this. I just thought I would let you guys know. and just clarify. With that being said, this video is actually wrapping up now. So I will say thank you guys so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, you can like and subscribe if you haven't already with those post notifications on for notifications for every time I upload or live stream. I have actually been live streaming a lot lately, so hopefully that trend continues, but with my convention around the corner, it is probably going to get a bit spotty with the live streams. But I know that possibly during October it might be a bit live stream crazy because it's Inktober, so I'm going to be doing Inktober pieces every day for the month of October, and I definitely am thinking of live streaming at least some of them. But yeah, I really hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I'll see you guys in my next one. Bye guys!